going, man?
It's going well, going well. How about you?
Yeah, I can't complain. Nothing. It's another day. So, but yeah, we're
Just
rolling.
another just another day in that quarantine life.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. You got it.
Awesome, man. So let's I'm glad to have you on today and super pumped to pick your brain a little bit and have a conversation with you about some stuff. And so yeah, let's get right into it. You ready?
Let's do it, man. Let's roll.
Awesome. So I know I've been following you for just a little bit here, and something that I thought was kind of cool. You did this whole squat hold challenge, and it's a little bit different than I think what a lot of people see online. We always see these fat loss challenges, and like whatever it may be, lose certain bound. But so I like that little bit of a different kind of take there. So I like to like kind of break down. You seem to have some good knowledge about squatting and everything like that. So talk a little bit about the squat hold, why it's important, and how that could actually improve your overall squat technique and overall mobility and everything.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, it was weird when it started because I don't know. I was just trying to think of something, like you said, something different. Like, I was like, I don't want to really like do, something fat loss. I don't want to do weight loss. So, like, I've done stuff like that too in the past. And I was like, let's just do something different. So I was like, I don't know, what's something like super easy, like low, like barrier to entry too, because this was still during quarantine and stuff. So I was just like, I don't know, like a squat hold maybe.
Yeah.
So I just did it, and then I mean, yeah, I kind of just stuck with it, and I was like, hey, join along for the ride and stuff like that. But like I feel like it's something we always hear is like, which is crazy because I feel like in like Middle Eastern countries and stuff like that, especially like wherever. Like if they do a squat, they have amazing mobility. They're able to kind of just get into that position a lot more efficiently than like we can here in the West, in the US and stuff. Cause we're sitting today. So because of that, I kind of wanted to see like, oh, maybe, if I go for like a minute a day, maybe it'll kind of help improve certain things, whether it's like I have terrible ankle mobility. It's just trash.
Oh yeah.
So
that's most people right there.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, maybe this will help that a little bit. And then also on top of that, like with hips and stuff too, I was like, maybe it'll just kind of help open everything up. So kind of started doing it. And then, like, especially, I know a couple of people, they were just like, dude, when am I going to stop feeling this in my groin and stuff? Because it really just kind of points out like whatever, weaknesses you have, wherever, what could be blocking you even from getting to, what is an optimal kind of, squat position.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like how that started. And then from there, I mean, yeah, like things improved for myself and for others too, just from holding that position. And I mean, it's just one of those things, like, not that, practice always makes perfect, but I mean, the more you're kind of putting yourself in a situation like that, and the more, you're going to kind of be able to, perform once you actually do have a load, once you do have weight.
Yep.
And stuff like that. Because that's a thing too, like we always forget, like one of the very first things you should be doing when you start working out is typically body weight stuff. Just because
you got to learn the movements.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the more you can kind of get those down, the better. And if that, the squat challenge was a way to kind of get people to, go back to a basic thing that they probably skipped over. Because I mean, I did. I was like, oh, it's time to go lift weights. I'm not gonna body weight stuff for 3 months.
2 weeks in, you got the barbell on your back, and you're like, let's go.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I was like, personally, I was never trained on like squats or anything like that. Like all pretty much like had to figure it all out myself. And then, but yeah, so basically, I mean, I guess the next thing from there is, the one thing that I liked a lot about it was kind of, there was like different levels that you could do as well. Like one of my favorite things that I've heard, Dan John, if you know who that is. So so he was basically like, he'll have a group of people when he's at a workshop or whatever, and he'll just tell them like, all right, stop and do a squat. And like when he's teaching the squat, and then people like squat, some people get super low, some people will be like a quarter squat, whatever. And he's like, all right, there's your squat. We're done. And he just leaves it at that because everybody has, different restrictions, different, kind of things that they can do. So with this challenge too, is like some people might have been doing an assisted while holding on to like a pole or like the pole of a rack or something. Some people were able to do like I was and just, go free body weight, kind of just sitting down into it and really feeling it out. Some people were at a little bit more just parallel. And I mean, that's fine. It was all about kind of, what was going to work best for you. But at the end of the day too, that's still good because it's helping you kind of feel out your body and where you can kind of work on things and go from there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great because I think, something that I learned like right at the beginning, from one of my first mentors, I forget who said it, but they were like, if you want to get better at something, you got to do it continuously. And they were talking more like strength based. And if you want to get better at squats, you got to be squatting a lot. If you want to deadlift, get a better deadlift, you got to deadlift a lot. A lot of people, they'll do it once a week and they wonder why they're not getting stronger or why they're not learning something. You got to do something a lot. And, I was specifically thinking about that time because like I wanted to get better at squats. I was just kind of learning the squat myself personally with the barbell. And I was like, okay, I got to just do this a lot. And so I upped it to over 2 times a week of squatting, which a lot of people are like, oh, that's crazy. And I'm like, I just need to learn how to do it. And that's how I learned it. Now I don't have to learn it. Now maybe I don't have to do as much as of that barbell movement because now I know how to do it correctly. And I agree with, I think that whole, like everyone's a little bit different. I think it's something kind of lost in translation, I think, from in the fitness world,
Yeah, no, I agree with you because that's the thing is, everybody says like it's either parallel or, ATG, ass to the grass, like in between, like people like, although there is, I can't remember who it is. Is it Joel Seedman or whatever? He basically is saying that you can do a half squat because the angles are optimal, blah, blah, blah. So there's one person out there who's kind of like trying to get away from that a little bit, which is, cool and all and different. But anyway, the thing is everybody, thinks that certain things are optimal. Some people are made to pistol squat because they have amazing like mobility and stuff. Personally, I can't pistol squat because my ankles are just, from spraining them and everything.
Oh, same here. I single leg deadlifts are like my weakness.
Yes. Yeah, dude. I have to make sure it's all in my hip. No ankle movement whatsoever. It all just needs to kind of stay. But that's the thing too is, because if you lack that ankle mobility, then it's like, okay, so what can we do to change it so that you can get to what feels right for you? And then you'll realize, oh, I need to take my feet wider, maybe do like a sumo kind of squat as opposed to, having them, like everybody says, I'm guilty of it. I used to tell people when I first started training, people like, oh, just a little bit outside shoulder width apart, deep breath, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you sit your hips back. But it doesn't work for everybody. You got to kind of see where their limitations are and stuff and then adjust from there. So now, but once you find it, though, you're good,
Yeah. Yeah. Like I know that for me, too. Like when I was trying to learn for squat, I actually worked out with someone. They were a trainer, too. They were like, why don't you take a wider stance? Because I was like, I can't get any lower. I would not be able to get up. I would be stuck in that bottom out position. And they're like, just take your stance out a little bit wider. And he's like, your ass has nowhere to go. Yeah. If you're too narrow, your hips have nowhere to go. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then I have a wider stance and now I can go all to the ground and come all the way up. If my stance was more narrow, I wouldn't be able to go all the way, as low as I feel comfortable going.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I mean, like you said, though, that's the thing too, is a lot of people kind of forget that, in order to do something and improve on something, you also need to try different things. You can't kind of say well, I was told this way, it's got to be this way. It's like, no, it could be a little bit different too. So, because I mean, I was always like, oh, it's just my ankles. I got to improve my ankle mobility, whatever. Yeah. I did 1,000,001 things to improve it, but it just did not get much better. So I had to finally, kind of adjust and go a little wider and then feel it. And turn my feet out, keep them straighter, whatever. Everybody's different, man. It's
there's
cliche.
No absolutes. There's no absolutes. I think in fitness, if you ever hear anybody say something that's like that's the only that way or that's the only way. You automatically have to kind of count that person as maybe that's not true. It's
just wave red flags a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's never 100% in any direction. It's probably more in the gray than it is in the black or the white. Yeah. For most people, everyone's going to be a little bit different with that. So with the squat hold, what are people looking for? What are maybe some things that you learned while doing it that were okay, I saw, this improved, this improved, this improved. This is kind of like what people should be looking for, like maybe because I know I saw some pictures that you took of your squat holds. What should people be looking for to improve on?
Yeah, so something good to kind of touch base on is like the very first day I did it, I kind of just like sat down in it and I let myself kind of get that little bit of like, lumbar flexion, I think, or whatever, hip wink, butt wink.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
flexion.
kind of let it dip under a little bit and I kind of just chilled there. But then I like was talking to one of my friends and he was just like, no, like, like maybe you could, try to think about, keeping a proud chest. That was like a good cue,
Yeah.
Or AKA, yeah, try to show the letters on your chest. And then kind of like sit down into it more, but also not going past to where, you're too low, because at that point it's, might just be diminishing returns. And again, yeah, we're trying to find what's optimal for you. And if that's something that's going to cause, problems down the road, you probably want to, avoid getting that low. So yeah, so, that was a good one. Is like, making sure you keep your chest high. You'll probably like personally, like my T-spine too, thoracic spine, that's something that I really felt improved, because whenever I would get down in that position and then really kind of like sit up a little bit more, I would like feel the vertebrae basically crack and kind of just, get more mobile and stuff, and, where they're probably supposed to be, as opposed to, when we're sitting all day kind of hunched over, stuff like that. Really, really
we
easy.
could all work on some T-spine mobility. I know that's a huge weakness of mine. It always bothers me. So I always try to work on it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, and I mean, yeah, then everything else kind of goes hand in hand, because with the pictures that I posted, like I said, with the first one, it was kind of a little bit more of that angle. And then also you could tell that, when you go down to do a squat, something that, I was kind of taught, and it actually makes pretty much a lot of sense, is, your shin angle and your torso angle are going to be about the same. And that'll be like a good kind of squat position for you. Because if, you look at, I mean, it kind of depends, if it's obviously like, but for a body weight squat, we'll just leave it.
Yeah.
With a barbell, if you're doing, front squat or back squat, that'll kind of change
Be
it.
a little different. Yeah.
Yeah. But for body weight and stuff, typically that'll be good angles and stuff. So yeah, so like on the first one, like you could tell like my shin angle was definitely a little bit more like upward, as opposed to my back angle, which was more forward, because I didn't have that T-spine mobility and or the ankle mobility either. Yeah. But then as I kind of then I did like a side by side once kind of got to the end, and then both of them were pretty much about the same.
Parallel.
Not perfect, but it was a lot better. So yeah, that's kind of something, that's why, I mean, especially with clients and stuff too, it's like you really like try to encourage them. It's like, record yourself. It's kind of awkward, whatever, but record yourself, take pictures of yourself, like when you're in different positions, so you can kind of get an idea of, what you're working with and where maybe your restrictions are lie. Because that's the thing too, you can do this squat hold all you want, but if you don't have like a before basically to like compare it to, then you're really not going to know. You're gonna be like, okay, I did those squats for 30 days, but now what? So
yeah. And exactly. And you might know like how you feel a little bit, but like if you're not tracking it, and I think that goes along with any movement, like if you're a beginner, like I highly suggest a lot of people just like video, like you said, video yourself, because even from day 1 to day 30 or 60, 90, you could see like, oh, this was me day 1 trying to do like a bent over row or deadlift. And then you could see it 60, 90 days later. I would imagine that it would look so much different. A massive improvement. And like, those are victories too. You might not have lost as much weight as you want or gained as much muscle, but like, look how much more well you can move your body. I think that's like a very discounted goal, in fitness, is like, okay, can you move better? Because that's what we got to do every day,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Can you move better? Do you not have as many like aches and pains, stuff like that? Do you feel just stronger? Like, can you walk further? I mean, those are the things. Yeah. It's really easy, like you said, to discount and just kind of walk past. But by, having kind of like that very like it like permanent, I guess you could say, like beginning point that you can always refer back to is, I mean, it's crucial. It really is.
Yeah, because all that stuff is, even with the squat hold, it's going to help you with everyday stuff. It's not just going to help you with fitness. It's going to help you bend over, pick up your, son, daughter, niece, nephew, cousin, whatever, pick them up, pick a box up off the ground without, pulling out your back. How many I've known from past clients how many of them have pulled their back because they were tying their shoe. I've heard that so many times, and it's like, if you were just doing these simple things, like that wouldn't happen. Like that shouldn't just you shouldn't pull your back out tying your shoe. Like
No, yeah, exactly. So yeah, by doing something like you said, as simple as like an easy mobility thing, like just sitting in the
yeah,
bottom of the squat, like it can yeah drastically improve your life. Like truthfully, like I mean, yeah,
yeah,
it sounds like I'm trying to oversell it or something, but
right,
no, I mean it. Like
yeah,
yeah, there's so much translation, like you said, to everyday life, and
mhm,
that's the other thing that people forget with strength training in general is it's not just to get big, strong, jacked, whatever, or
yeah,
get a six pack. It's because you want to improve your quality of life, and you want to be able to, like my grandma, I don't know how old she is, she's over 80 though. She can squat down and play with her great granddaughter still.
yeah,
That's nuts. Like that's how
yeah,
I want to be when I'm older. I don't want to have to be the one that's like, oh, I can't get down there,
yeah,
like you gotta come to me, and stuff like that. So being able to move around like that will be awesome, like as you age.
yeah. And if I know if many people have probably seen these studies, but there's a lot of studies associated with muscle strength. Like I've seen forearm strength and things like that are associated with living longer and healthier. And it's because you can move around more, you can do more things. It helps keep you mobile and doing those things that you just talked about, like your grandmother. Like that probably means the world to her.
Yeah.
Those are the things that keep you motivated. They might not seem big now, but like when you're 80, 90 years old, that's a big deal.
Hmm.
I remember a client of mine, his main goal when working with me, he was 83. He was the oldest client I've ever worked with, 83 years old. He just wanted to be able to pick his dog's poop up.
Yeah.
That's just all he wanted to do because he loved his dog and he just wanted to be able to clean up and go for walks with her and, just be happy. He was the happiest man. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't worry about everything else. He just wanted to be able to pick the poop off of the ground, you
Yeah.
know? So
Little things sometimes really is.
yeah. So like these things are so they I think a lot of people have problems with projecting so far in the future. They think they're 30, 40. Oh, I got plenty of time to do that. But it's like you do, but you kind of don't because like you have to start now. It progresses now. If you're in your 20s and 30s, it's still going to progress. It starts now. You got to
Yeah.
build it up now to keep it long term. Once you lose it, you kind of lose it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If
Yeah.
you get hurt when you're 70, not saying you're screwed, but like you'll be better off if you were doing something and were already mobile. You're going to be so much better off than if you were doing nothing.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to recover when you're already, kind of like in shape and stuff like that, or, able to, move around, like you said. So, yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. So kind of diving into another topic now, just move away a little bit from the squat. Something you've been posting about, recently as well is your summer of thickness. I thought that was pretty awesome, and I love to hear a little bit more, like pick your brain about what exactly that's all about and everything.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I was just talking to my fiance, and I was just like, something like this summer, I don't think there's going to be that many like six packs or anything like that. Like, I don't think people really care this year. And
Yeah.
I was like, should I call it like I was just trying to come up with something funny, and I was like,
Okay.
should I just say like summer of thickness? Like, should that be? And she was just like, yeah, just do it.
Yeah, I love it, man. I thought it was great. I saw and I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, exactly, man. And that's like, I can't believe like how much like I was just like, oh, this is probably gonna flop. Like people are gonna be like, whatever. But everybody's like, yeah, summer of thickness, like let's go. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. I mean, obviously this has been a weird year.
Yeah.
2020 has been
Far
whatever.
from,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been said enough times. Everybody knows what's going on, this and that. But so yeah, because of that though, it's been hard to focus on physical health. You haven't been able to get to a gym. It's been hard to get motivated when you're at home. And yeah, everybody's kind of feeling it in different ways, and people cope in different ways as well for their mental health and stuff, which can obviously take a toll on the physical health. So
Yeah.
because of that, I mean, obviously, always still trying to encourage people to, take care of both of those and do what they can. But, when it comes down to it, like this is still the summer of thickness. Like it's okay. You don't have to worry about getting shredded in 6 weeks. You don't have to worry about getting, because what, it's July. Yeah. Like we got July and August. You're not getting like, it's going to take you 2 months at least to get like sustainably anyway, to get to a leaner physique as well. So, I mean, it's pretty much in the spirit of, owning where you're at right now and being okay with it. That's one of the hardest things to do, truthfully.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know for myself included, like I'm never, like pretty much never satisfied, like whatever. It doesn't matter like what other people tell me and stuff. But I'm like, you know what? This year we're going to own it. We're going to just, be like, it's like, hey, we got a little bit more flab this year, but already have the tools and know how to, like, if I really wanted to get lean, I could, but I don't really see the point this year because there's a lot bigger things kind of going on to focus on that, need more attention than, getting lean again. So yeah.
It's giving yourself permission to be where you're at. I think that's kind of, that's what I took from it, and I've seen some people kind of talking about that recently too, about like, okay, this is where we're at right now. Why put more pressure on yourself to do something, when you're maybe not succeeding with it, or like not like, it's just not applicable to what we're at right now. Like I'm still not being able to go to the gym. I'm not able to lift the same amount of weight. So my results are going to be different. You just got to kind of accept that and just be like, okay, maybe it's time to adjust our goals to something else.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I mean, the thing is like, yeah, something else, like my fiance and I've been talking. It's like, like this is the year. It's like, maybe we want to like take more time to get outside, like start like become hikers.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we said, and like kind of, try to experience those different things that, you may not otherwise, if you have fitness goals that are like extremely important to you that you're going to, push for until you get there, or if you have a competition or whatever it may be. But yeah, like you said, like giving yourself that permission to, just be where you're at, accept yourself there, and then really just, do your best to, like be at peace with yourself. I mean, it's one of the hardest things too, is, you always want, like you said, like more and more and more, never satisfied. But, if you really just take that step back, what's really going to happen is once things, do start, normalizing again stuff, is you're going to be like in such a better mental state that mental state is going to propel you to an amazing physical state, because you're going to have like basically everything else figured out. So
yeah, exactly. And, like I like to think about my own personal goals, is that like this year I was expecting to do a lot of races, like obstacle courses and like a half marathon in the fall and things like that, which are just not going to happen at this point, because of obvious reasons. And I know a lot of people in that type of community, kind of give up because those were the things that keep them going. And it's like, okay, if you get consistent now and stay consistent, how much better are you going to be next year when all these things start picking up again? And I know, at least for me, that really helped motivate me. Like, okay, I got to get on a plan. I just got to get consistent with something. It might not be optimal. I might not be running as much. I might not be lifting as much weight, like no, volume wise, but like, hey, I'm consistent. So when I can go to the gym again, it's like, okay, just add that back into the routine. Like, let's go. Like, and I think that's kind of where people should be focusing right now. Obviously if you have a lot of weight to lose and that you want to do that right now, go for it. But it's like, focus on getting consistent right now. I think that's kind of like where like most people could succeed right now. Like just build routine and just start like watching your nutrition, watching your, keep working out. I like your idea of, getting outside more. I know I've been going on so many more walks than I normally would, just because A, I have the time, but B, like I got to get out, you got to get physically out there, so.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I mean, the thing is though, too, is if you can build a routine like right now, when there is like no like way to predict anything that's going to happen at any time, because it's really out of your control, then if you can focus on, what you can control and like actually build a routine out of that, imagine, how awesome it's going to be once there is like everything, back to kind of, normal and stuff, and how like awesome you're going to be then, because you already have your routine and your consistency pretty much. You said, then you're going to boom, like no summer of thickness next year then. So.
Exactly. And it's like a time where like our schedules are changing week by week, what's available to us and what we're able to do. people's jobs coming back, closing, like it's so variable week to week. I try to think 2 weeks ahead, 3 weeks ahead. I'm like, I can't. It's not possible. Like, I'm like, it's going to change. So I'm not going to worry about 3 weeks ahead. I'm just going to worry about, okay, what can I do this week? And I think that kind of adjustment, that, that stress is actually good for a lot of people overall. I think it's going to help people be, more resilient in the long term, being able to, cope with this change. I think a lot of people are going to come out a lot stronger because of it,
No, for sure. I actually love that. That's because I mean, that's the thing is like, at the end of the day is like, what is resistance training even? It's overcoming resistance. And, so we're just right now, like overcoming a different type of resistance. That's maybe it's not building muscles, but it's building, something else and more of a mental capacity and, kind of just your habits. So it'll be interesting, but still, like you said, like if you can get it all right now, then people will be pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. It's that I think a lot of people got stuck in a routine and now it's like changed their whole lives. Like, I think there's not a single person whose life hasn't changed in some form. And we have to adapt, survival of the fittest. That is what this world has become. It's what it's always been. It's, you got to learn to adapt to the new normal and, be able to adapt to stress, and whoever can adapt faster and better is going to be overall better at the end of the day, whether it's business, fitness, health, life in general. We all got to adapt. There's no resisting. There's no point of resisting it at this point. Just accept it. And, this is what it is.
Exactly. Accept the summer of thickness. Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, after you posted that, I saw from a bunch of other people, not the summer of thickness, but the idea of just like allowing yourself to be where you're at. You might not be at your leanest like you want to be during the summer, but what are you doing? What else can you do? Maybe you can gain strength or, start building more muscle or focusing on your nutrition, whatever it may be. I think kind of having the idea of like not just being fat loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like that's where too, like you said, like where it is like, maybe you do want to just improve like your mile run time or something. If you're getting outside more, it can be, because that's probably like something next, like transition I'm going to make, because it's just like, well, I'm kind of getting tired of like doing whatever I've been doing, like weight training wise. So it's like, let's kind of change it up. Let's kind of do, a more of a cardio based goal. Cause I haven't done that in like years either. So it'll be a good change of pace, and it'll also be challenging, which is good. Because, by making it something that's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, then it kind of makes me more accountable to want to do it, so that I can, just try something different, really. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's great. Trying to change up, even challenge yourself. I was talking with one of my clients the other day, and they were like, how do I get out of a rut? And I think that's a great way. Challenge yourself, do something a little bit different than what you've been doing. He's been consistent with his workouts and his nutrition, but now he's kind of like fallen off for a couple weeks. And it's like, were you falling off because you were bored? Was it not challenging enough anymore? Maybe you got to challenge yourself. Like you said, you haven't ran in a long time. Hey, maybe go for some runs now, add some runs in, really challenge yourself that way, jump rope. I think that's a great way, whatever it may be, do something a little bit difficult, that whole resilience thing we were just talking about, that's going to help stress yourself a little bit, but in a good way, not negative stress.
Right. Exactly. Too. And like, that's the thing too, is we obviously don't want you, stressing yourself out and stuff like that more. Like, we're not saying like, make sure you do the most hardcore thing possible. So that
work out 7 days a week, do 10-mile runs every day, like nothing crazy like that. Not that challenge. That's the impossible challenge. We don't want the impossible challenge.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we definitely want to keep it. Yeah, keep it. Realistic always. That's definitely kind of the biggest thing. But yeah, man, that's basically the summer of thickness in a nutshell. And we'll see how it kind of evolves as we go. I'm sure, because I'm sure it will, as things continue to do whatever they may. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So what exactly are you working on then during it? Like, what's your kind of like your nutrition and like your fitness objectives with it?
Yeah. So So I actually kind of did something really like random off the cuff. And I like just did, this isn't my fifth day of like, I'm doing like a 5-day reset thing basically.
Oh yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that Fix It with Food by Michael Simon, which is supposed to help with autoimmune disorders, like arthritis and inflammation, things like that. And it's been interesting. So I kind of ended up having a little bit of a, I guess you could say, a fat loss phase with this, which was okay because I was doing Ryan's like 30-day mini cut as well with him. Because with that too, it's still the summer of thickness, but it doesn't mean that you can't do like a gradual kind of like decrease in your body fat percentage. Like even though I'm okay and more comfortable like being at a higher one, it's still okay to, like we were saying, like work on yourself, find that kind of a goal to work on. So I was kind of doing that, doing really slow and steady kind of fat loss. And then after that, man, like after this reset, I'm probably gonna like eat a bunch of food. Probably, we'll see. Probably shouldn't. I'm gonna try not to, but we're gonna see what happens and where the day takes us.
Yeah, how's that been? How are you feeling with all that and everything?
Dude, so I've actually been fine. I've been pretty good. I would say yesterday was the hardest day though. So day 4. So I can imagine it was supposed to be 10 days. Like this was 10 days long, and I was just like, I can't do 10 days. So did the 5 and we're here and we're making it through. But this is another way it got me out of my comfort zone because for a long time I've been doing intermittent fasting. Like I have not been eating breakfast, but with this, it's like you have a breakfast, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll try to eat breakfast again.
Yeah.
But it's actually been awesome because, I've never like hit that point of, like hunger in the day too, that I used to like hit when doing intermittent fasting. So, it's kind of like shown me again, since I got out of my comfort zone, that maybe I need to start having breakfast again in my day because maybe I just like it more. So that's going to be kind of a transition I have as well. But I wouldn't have known otherwise if I didn't do the little experiment. So, all in all, still kind of a good deal. But I'll have the final results tomorrow, though. But I've lost like 5 pounds in 4 days is what it was. So, but obviously, like you said, it's inflammation and stuff too, though. So probably a ton of water weight.
For sure.
And we'll see if it like how body fat and stuff is. But I'm also using only like the handheld guy, so it's not like it's extremely accurate. But still a marker, though.
Yeah, it's still good to track and everything. Yeah, I know what you mean with the intermittent fasting because I've been doing that for years, 3-4 years. But yeah, there are those times where it's like, oh, I got to eat breakfast, or I'm staying with someone who does eat breakfast. I was like, oh, I'm not. I don't eat breakfast. People don't understand when I say I don't eat breakfast. I was like, what? I don't eat till 12 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, that's normal. Like, why is it not normal? I'm not hungry.
Yeah, right. Like, exactly. And I mean, it's another one. Yeah. Going back to, basically the initial conversation, it's like everybody's different, maybe, it works really well for you. Maybe it doesn't, but some people get it. Some people don't. That's the truth though.
Yeah. I think it's funny because it's like everyone's lifestyle is so different. And like when I started fasting, the reason I started fasting was I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going to the gym, training people. I'd eat breakfast at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd be hungry by 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And then I'd have like 4 meals a day. I don't like small meals. So I was like, I gotta stop this. I can't have breakfast, second breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yeah, right.
And then like maybe a late night snack and stuff like that. It's like, okay, let's control this eating and everything like that. So it's always finding with what works within your lifestyle, Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, the thing is too, though, with like the reason I like the like fasting too, is because I like to get a lot of my work done early in the morning. So, even just eating is kind of an interruption in like your workflow and stuff like that I know, a lot of people talk about. So even something, as simple as that, like for people who like to get stuff done in the morning, maybe it will work for them. Maybe it won't. Maybe they can't work until they eat because people love food and that's cool. So
Yeah, everyone's a little bit different. And sometimes people got to have breakfast. Some people don't. I find if you struggle with a certain meal, figure out a way to overcome that struggle. Like breakfast was always a struggle for me. I was like, let's just eliminate it altogether. I can only eat eggs so many times. I can still eat eggs at 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep.
So I'm like, why not just skip breakfast altogether? Have breakfast at 12 if I want, or have lunch, and then just have dinner. Then I don't have to worry.
Yeah.
I can go out to dinner. I love to go out to eat. I'm a big foodie. I like to cook. So I'm like, I can have big dinner. I can enjoy my food and, have whatever, not have to worry so much. I can have that, pizza, burger, lasagna, whatever it may be that day and not have to worry about my calories too much.
Yeah, no, exactly, dude. And that's the biggest, benefit I would say too of it. Cause I'm the exact same way, man. It's like,
Yeah.
sometimes I just want to go get a cheeseburger, man. Like,
Yeah.
just got to.
Yeah.
But yeah, continuing like kind of what's next, I guess, for like summer of thickness stuff is like really what'll probably happen now after like, especially this 5-day fix thing, whatever, just to do is pretty much just go back into like, like a maintenance mode. But, like I said, so like I'll probably still track my calories and my protein like I typically do, but I'm not going to do it to the effect of really wanting a result. So I'm going to pretty much have it about, try to find like my maintenance and stuff like that. And then kind of hang out there. And then, like I said, probably going to start doing like that running stuff. Going to be, trying to see, how long it takes me to run a mile, try to improve it week to week and stuff like that. Maybe like try to come up with like a different program or whatever for that. But all while still like enjoying myself, not giving a crap if I'm out there shirtless either. And I got, little jiggle going because I don't care. Somebody look at me and then be like, what the heck are they doing? It's like, well, what are you doing? You're sitting there watching me. So who's really like in the wrong here?
Yeah.
So
that's awesome, man.
For sure. But no, looking forward to it. And like I said, we'll kind of see how it continues to evolve. But yeah, that's kind of the tentative game plan right now. No different challenges or anything either. But making sure you get a lot of steps in the day too. That's something I just got done with as well. I did like 8K a day because I knew that's like how many I could reasonably hit. So I was still making sure you're getting good movement and stuff too.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's kind of the mindset I've been in with just like maintaining. For the past like 2 weeks, my weight has pretty much stayed the same. Within a pound or two, I'm like, that's all I want. Like I'm focused on like getting in my fitness and getting in my nutrition. Getting veggies and man, that's like always always the main struggle. I was like, let me just focus in on those things and stop worrying about weight loss or the the result. Let's start worrying again on the action. I think we talk a lot of us talk about that, but sometimes you lose sight of it. You get caught up in the goal. Because we do at the end of the day, you do want results. You don't want to go through a cut and not lose any weight like that. That would piss me off. That's demoralizing. Like I tried to cut weight and I didn't cut a single pound. That stinks. So it's like, okay, maybe you just focus in on the actions, hit those and see where that leads you. And if it leads you to, weight loss, great. If it's maintenance, great. Like what do you lose, at the end of the day? Okay, you gained a pound or two. Okay, what's the big deal about a pound or two? It's not gonna make or break, your existence here to be within that range.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, because that's the thing too, is like, I feel like a lot of people fail to realize too, is you can make some really awesome progress when you're at maintenance. And that's kind of the experiment I want to do next as well. Is just like, okay, let's see what happens like with my physique and stuff if I change things up and I focus more on cardio while eating the same amount of calories that I'm already eating. Let's, maybe who knows what'll happen after that, but you can still make some pretty, good progress overall. And, kind of do how they say, like, recomposition a little bit. And then, before you know it, like actually having more calories in your day might've been exactly what you needed because you had more energy to, just do your everyday like life. And just
exactly.
And whatever. I mean, whether it's to play with your kids or walk your dog for sure.
Yeah, getting work done and everything like that. That's exactly how I feel, man. Like right now, I just like, let me keep that energy up high and let's not worry about, those extra bag of chips that I had or, extra bowl and the ice cream, it's hot. At least in North Carolina here, it's 90 degrees. I need something cold in the middle of the day or the end of the day, just to feel better, cool down a little bit. So it's like, why worry about that? I'm at the beach. I'm going to get a shaved ice or an ice cream, like, well, why worry? Why worry? So enjoy. It's all about enjoyment at the end of the day. If you're not enjoying yourself, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Couldn't agree more. That's what it's all about for sure. Cause the one other thing I wanted to touch on with that is, a lot of times too, people forget it's like being in a calorie deficit, trying to cut, that's a stressor.
Yeah.
You know, and we're in a very high stress situation right now with just life. So the thing is, like right now, the last thing you probably want to do is put yourself under more stress, have less energy because you have less calories. And then before you know it, you're going to fall into possibly like a little bit more of a depressive state and stuff. But so like you said, having more of the calories, energy up, whatever, like not having to worry too much about that, but still having like goals in mind, then you can still enjoy yourself and live your life. So for sure.
Yeah, if you can't handle the stress that's already happening right now, why put additional stress on you when that stress that you can control, you know, how much you are cutting or not cutting, you can control that stress, you know? Yeah. So I think that's super important right now. Control that stress and don't put any more on you. So everyone get on the summer of thickness train over here.
Yes.
And just enjoy yourself a little bit.
For sure. Live a little. Chill out. Literally.
Yeah, literally. So, Vinny, it was awesome talking with you today. Where can everybody find you? Yeah,
so pretty much on everything, you know, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, kind of like my main three is at Vinnie G. It's VINNIEG _CB. CB is for cheeseburger, of course, because I love cheeseburgers.
Oh, yeah. His podcast, The Cheeseburger Effect, right? Isn't that?
Yep. And so that's like my like business name is The Cheeseburger Effect, because one cheeseburger per week and you can still hit your peak with your fitness. So it's all good. But yeah, pretty much there. And then, other than that, pretty much I have a podcast as well, The Cheeseburger Effect Podcast, but that's pretty much it though. But thanks, man. This was awesome.
Good I'll throw that in the show notes for you, and everyone go check out Vinny's stuff. He's got some awesome things, you know, a lot more than what we just talked about right now. So definitely give him a follow and see what he's all about. Awesome, Vinny. It was great talking with you today, and I hope we can do this soon again.
Yeah, for sure, man. Just let me know. Take it easy.
You too, man. See ya.
See ya.